You mean...
Well...
One first inside was Shenhe, then aged around 6 years old.
That sounds...
When one arrived, she had already been... That she was one dealt...
In other words, if...
Not necessary.
That's still so...
Alas, the mortal world is rife with suffering of... Indeed. However, moon carved red ropes... It is only by...
Oh, now Paimon gets...
Huh. Ningguang once made a bold assertion that this is to be the era of the contract between Liyue and the humans. Well, one is most curious to observe how she will if she handles it admirably, one is willing to be a witness to her achievements. But if she... Let us conclude our conversation here for today. One has occupied enough.
So, Shenhe isn't an Adeptus after all. She just grew up around the Adepti. Oh.
There seem to have been a growing number of tales told regarding Shenhe in recent years. Perhaps she was seen on the previous occasion when she secretly ventured out from the mountains. One has heard that a playwright in Liyue Harbor wrote an opera based on the legends told about her. It is called The Divine Damsel of Devastation. The play portrays her as making a stand to protect her fellow villagers. One can only surmise that every story needs a hero.
Hey! So, Shenhe...
Master has relayed my situation to you.
Oh? How did...
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master... After all, Master is...
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon had you...
It's okay. I don't... The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner. Because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an Adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. For this, I am very grateful indeed.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real... Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an Adeptus or a human isn't the important thing. First and...
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do.
Great! Well, now that... But before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the... After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be... Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside. Here's one for you, Shenhe. Try it! They're so good.
I concur. It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Look, Jade Chambers, but it seems to be tied down by something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Byron! And hey!
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure before we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new material.
One moment. I'll be right. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch. Wait, I know you. You're the... Pleased to meet you. I'm Beto, captain of the Crux.
Beto? Are you here to join the Jade?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of sunset vermilionite on a voyage a while back, so...
Huh. So even though it's rare,
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yoon, or Yoonjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Greetings.
These two are Paimon and the Traveler. I'm sure you've heard of them before. And this...
Shenhe.
Good to meet you. Well, from today on, I guess all of us are friends. Miss Yoon is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we could...
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required.
Wow. So...
Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe.
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang.
In that case, Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, there are 3 teams here. Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. What do you think?
Sounds great, but how does it change things exactly?
I think I see where... The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that...
Precisely.
Huh.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some leads on these wonder cores. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them.
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Wonderful. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Okay, by the way, what question are you gonna...
I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang.
Ooh, what's the opera?
The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Come with me.
And step.
This is destiny.
Ah, hello. Are you here for something off the shelf? Or do you need something forged?
Excuse me, Master John.
Of course I have. Sorry, who's asking?
My name is...
Yunjin? Sorry. So, the types of ore need...
No?
If I remember correct, it could take some work, but if you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, of course, it's...
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, I hear the view there. Perhaps it can give me some...
Something new at the London restaurant. Oh. What should I try?
I came to Mount Tianheng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. Oh, this is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic, towering peaks and the gently flowing streams. It's like setting foot in paradise. No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed, this looks like a place that one might expect to be frequented by Adepti.
The Divine Damsel of Devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with this place. What's the story about?
It's the story of a girl becoming a hero.
Cool. A hero's?
The legend first arose in this area. It is said that in that village, there was a loving couple who were complete. The wife was out collecting herbs. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, if you want to live, you must...
What a nasty piece of work!
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no choice. Just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster...
No!
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the Adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and Adepti seldom cross, and so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, she vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air.
I really like this story, but I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be. I'm not sure she deserves all the praise.
I've never considered that before. Opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray. A certain degree of deviation from the truth. When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to inspire...
I think it's a great story.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon!
Healthy body, healthy mind. We're way behind schedule.
This should be enough Star Splinter Iron. Now we just need to find that Subrosium.
I think I saw a village on our way here. Master Zhang said we should ask the locals for help. Why don't we try there?
Hey, there really is someone here. Yunjin, looks like you were right. Huh. He didn't...
Hello, sir. We were just passing by and wanted to ask...
Is he trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Shenhua, Yunjin.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman. If that's okay with you, Uncle Mingjin.
It's...
Shenhe.
Shenhe. I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium. But I think you... This place is deserted now. No one ever comes here. So you can rummage around.
Huh? You know this guy?
Thank you, kind sir. Well, don't worry. Mingjun has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. She'll be quite safe.
Okay, then let's...
If you lie on the grass, you can feel the heartbeat of the world.
Let's finish this. Swift.
The remains of a god, an abandoned village, Mount Tianheng. Does this mean that the true story of the divine damsel... The time frame certainly matches. So it's...
This should cover food and rent for a while.
What's this? So... Shenhe is the divine damsel? Now that I think about it, she does behave rather like an adept. So that's why I've been getting the strangest feeling. According to this text, the divine damsel from the... And she didn't volunteer. She was sacrificed to the monster. By her own... Oh, the truth is even more lamentable than the opera. Now I understand why Shenhe said the girl was not as brave as people think. It wasn't her choice. It looks like my father may need to make a few revisions to his beloved opera.
We've looked everywhere, but still no mention of Subrosium. Let's have a look over there. So basically, we need to go to the middle of the lakes. Let's go back and tell Shenhe.
Next on the agenda.
One year when I was back visiting, I heard a story about a white-haired adeptus from a merchant passing by. I never imagined it was you. I was a very close friend of your father's. I could have stopped him from performing the summoning ritual. I had plenty of chances, but I couldn't bring myself to stand up to him. I just let things happen, let it all escalate. Well, we all know how that story ended. I bring flowers back here every year. And each time I wish I had a chance to apologize to you.
Apologize for what? If you'd stopped him, he'd only have found another way. There is nothing he wouldn't have done for his true love.
Do you still...
I don't know what I feel. I'm told my fate is to bear the curse of calamity, so my master bound my soul with red ropes to curb my aggression. But it also dampened my emotions, making me dispassionate, like the Adepti. So if you ask me how I feel about the past, if I hate my father...
It must have been so tough for...
Shenhe, we're back!
Oh, then I will leave you all in peace. Shenhe, it brings me some solace knowing that you are okay. I'll tell you more about the old times next time we meet.
Thanks, mister. We found some info in the end. Shenhe, look. This tells us how...
Let's go then.
Miss Shenhe, there's something I'd like... Just now, in the village, we found your father's diary.
Why?
I know I say that opera always deviates from the truth, but now that the main character is standing right here in front of me, I cannot simply dismiss your lived experience in favor...
It's okay.
But,
My master once said that the day I learn how to use my strength for the good of others is the day that I can truly become part of human society. So, I hope that one day I might be brave enough to stand up and protect others, just like the girl in the opera. But I've never thought this way before, and I wonder whether I will continue to...
Don't worry. In fact, I think maybe you've already started to become the person you aspire to be.
Shenhe! Yinjin! Cut the chit! We can't let someone else beat it!
Should we really be off work this early?
Born of
ice and frost.
What brings you here? Have they found a solution to the danger in the sea? Ningguang didn't... Something has happened in Guyan Stone Forest. According to the contract, as an Adeptus, I should not get involved for now. But these things can be unpredictable. I have a only a single mountain lies between here and Liyue Harbor. If things get out of control, I will defend this place myself.
That's everything we need! Let's head back and report in! Paimon's curious if Beto's made any progress.
Oh, yes! Yes! They have the audacity to go after anything! The 7 dragons, gods. No ancient artifact that relates can escape. Still, this time is different. Who do they think they are, going after the Abyss Order's treasures? Oh, Traveler.
Huh? Ganyu, what are you doing here with Lan?
Hello. We were just discussing the treasure hoard.
Yes. We were just saying how even the audacious treasure hoarders should know better than to mess with the Abyss.
But we recently received intel from the Ministry of Civil Affairs that 2 big-time treasure hoarders in Liyue and Mondstadt are—
2 big-time treasure?
Yes. They're known as Big Sis of the South and Raptor of the North.
Oh, Raptor! Paimon remembers he tried to run away from Amber in Mondstadt. But who is Big Sis of the South?
You are correct. She's the head. Some say that the god of thieves even bestowed a gift upon her for her exploits, making her Big Sis of the gods. But that's probably just a wild rumor.
Anyway, the treasure hoarders discovered some previously unexplored ruins that the Abyss Order has been secretly guarding in the shadows. Despite how dangerous that makes it, all the treasure hoarders can think about, they have already devised a plan. They will send out a decoy to divert the Abyss Order's forces away from the ruins. Then,
to this end, Big Sis and Raptor have reportedly recruited a certain
Grand Thief.
Oh, indeed. He is the Grand Thief is highly respected in the treasure hoarders, in the same way that we adventurers look up to great adventurers. Ah, so you're familiar with the author of the Tevat travel guide then? Correct. The Grand Thief is someone as renowned as her. So, despite being relative big-timers in Liyue and Mondstadt, Big Sis and Raptor had to put in a lot of work to convince a thief of his status to come in.
With the major changes in Liyue recently, the Ministry of Civil Affairs but anything related to the Abyss makes me feel like they're... So I decided to come to the Adventurers Guild to post a commission.
Leave it.
Oh.
Good to see this in the hand.
We're way behind schedule.
Add Astro...
Oh, goodness.
So...
This is some top quality ore you found. I think I'll get a good end product out of these. Guess now it's my time.
Hey everyone, how's the A-team doing? I ran into a bit of a brick wall on my end. Suling's never seen a Wonder Core before, and says it'd take a lot of research for him to get up to speed.
Leave the Wonder Cores to me. I'll work on them while you go about your business. Don't worry.
Much obliged, Master Zhang. We should look into the Adepti sigils next, but where should we find items relating to the Adept?
I'll sort that out.
Oh?
Yes. I have been training with the Adept. When we first met, I told you I came for the Jade Chamber, not the contest. In fact, I came specifically to deliver Adepti sigils. Master heard that Ningguang was planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber. Master also said she hoped that I can take this opportunity to rejoin human society. But now that I'm here, I wonder if I've been removed from the world for too long. Maybe it won't work for me to stay here after all. But either way...
Without knowing the ins and outs of your situation, I can't say whether you But now that our paths have crossed, we'll always have a connection. So if you're ever feeling down, come find me on my ship.
Thank you. So, Master Zhang, I'll need to use your facilities to make the sigils.
Fine by me. I'm actually curious to see how the Adepti...
Whew. The sigils are ready. Though they are in some respects inferior to my master's, I can assure you there will be no quality issues.
I've finished forging the things you asked for, too.
Great! Let's go submit them before someone else gets there.
Next on the agenda...
Ningguang's little Royal Secretary! We found all the materials!
Oh, all three of you found them. The Wonder Cores and Adepti sigils look good. I hereby announce that the winners of this material procurement...
What? It's over already?
So close, but so far.
I'd like to invite our three winners to please proceed to the Jade Chamber, where...
Huh? Where's Babe?
Captain Beidou has some business to attend to. She will join later.
Alright then. Guess we'll head on up to the... This has been a long time.
Sigils with the Wonder Cores and insert them into the Jade Chamber's control.